Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by DrRoto.com.
So let's get to it.
Bring the pain!
What's up, everybody? It's Heat Override, and I'm ready to bring the pain for you and Dr. Roto this week. Ooh, yeah! It's another edition of the Ultra Contrarian Show. What's up, Fuego Steve? How you doing today?
I'm doing well. I guess we're doing another Halloween special. I don't have much light again, but I'm doing well. I'm doing really well, and I'm ready to get to NFL. My NBA plays have been on fire. I just missed the main slate tonight, so I'll play a little at 8 o'clock or late night or showdown. Yeah, we got a great NFL week, and we've been doing well too, man. We've been doing well at NFL. We've been doing, everything on the site is doing well. And hey, man, just a shout out to my buddy Ted. There's no race this week on F1, but there is next week, and he was right on pretty much last week.
He was.
He played a parlay which didn't hit, but his other two money lines hit. So if you would have played what he played, you would have made $17. He didn't play that much, so you would have, he got his money back on, and that's what we do. You try to get the cash games, you try to get your money there, then do the parlays and stuff. So that didn't hit, but he was right on. So he'll be writing again next week. If you like auto racing, F1 is taking over. I hear Disney's buying, it's more popular than NASCAR now. So he was right on. So pay attention. Ted knows what he's doing. And me and Steve Bell, pretty good at NBA. And but this is, it's football. We're back up. Yeah.
That's all right. I always get my shares in, so that's why I always love it when you can bring yourself in and, of course, promote the basketball at Dr. Roto. Of course, right now, code word Trevor still gets you 20%, so you could be our rich friend. We have, as you just heard Steve talking about, we have the right cure for all of your fantasy needs. Every single sport we're going to be hitting on. But he is right. I'm pretty sure one of the bets was one of the guys in the top 2 for the race, and he nailed either the first or second one. I think so for me, that's just awesome.
That's right. It's right. He hit the first 2, and if you read his article, and then I posted his line, what he bet in Discord, and he hit the first 2, so made his money, missed the parlay, but still came out on top. And that's what me and you do. You tell people to play cash games, you make your money, and then you go for the G. Again, even in NBA, man, I was on fire last night, but wrong contest selection. I haven't been playing much. I've been trying to be good, but I'll probably step it up a little this week. But you got people thanking us, and again, congrats to Trevor. But let's some NFL, man. But you got to sign up. You have to sign up because we are on the money. Literally.
And even if you just do the subs only Discord, you're going to get enough. But the full package to get all the sports, the optimizers, and also all of the articles, you get so many different articles from seasonal to Dynasty. You get Fantasy Clown Eds up in there, and then at the same time, you get all of the DFS. You get access on the Discord only. Dr. Roto comes in, does the Start Sit show on Sunday mornings, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to noon. We answer all of the Start Sit questions, which there's tons. We have had an influx of people just joining literally on Sundays. Man, it's just, and just to get a chance to get a piece of all that action, all that theory going on behind the scenes, that leads to those 100K wins. That's what it's all about at Dr. Roto, and that's what I love doing for all of us.
Sorry to mean to interrupt. If you haven't watched the show, me and Heat love to talk, and but exactly, we're bringing in people every day. Ted and Steve Bell, my buddy, and we're bringing in people all the time to help you guys win. And I know y'all like to bet your money, so you win money in football, you put it on F1. You win on F1, you put it on NBA. You win an NBA, you put it on hockey. You know how it works. We all know how it works. We all love to play, and I love to learn new sports. I've been learning about F1. So Ted's going to write some strategy articles too to teach you guys about F1 if you're not familiar. But I've learned so much just by hanging out with him and watching it. Again, he's been racing cars since he was 6 years old in Sweden, so he knows what he's doing. But enough about Ted and all that. Let's get to this Halloween special. I'm in the dark again.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Sometimes things happen. You get in the other room. You want to make sure that everybody is sleeping. You don't want to be too rude and stuff like that. But at the same time, too, we get the fun little facts. We have a really fun slate. There's a lot of.
I'm wearing my Raven stuff today. Proud of my boys from the other day.
What I say, of course, he didn't get 200 yards, but Derrick Henry did get 2 touchdowns. He did get 2 touchdowns, man. And I know you was loving that Mark Andrews lineup I gave out on the Fight Club of Pain last night, on Thursday, because man, that almost Friday, it wasn't Friday because we've been doing them on Fridays. But yeah, that right there, Andrews as captain, that was a solid play for me. That's what I needed. And then of course the Ravens defense, and then working in Henry, but knowing that Lamar was going to go off and having the piece of A chain, just being able to give you another cash game lineup that had a chance to score some big money.
That's right. And hey, man, watch out. That division's close. Don't count my boys out yet. Don't count the Ravens out.
2 games at the end of the year against the Steelers. So anything can happen right now. And I think the Steelers are going to try to. What was that?
Yeah, it's a tight division. They're getting healthy again. Not to be talking about my boys too much, but they're getting players back. The division's tight, and don't count them out yet.
That's right. All right. So as everybody knows, what Steve and I do is Steve gives you a core 4 and then his Fuego pick of the week. I do reveal my Macho pick of the week. If you have not caught any of the podcasts from Dr. Otto or my Tuesday podcast, then you don't know who my Macho pick of the week. I will reveal that right now is Kamani Vidal. So we'll get there. We'll put it in there and kind of work where we're at, so that like when you see the lineup build, you'll understand why he's there, because there were some chances I wanted to take this week with a certain game, and that's going to be mostly one of my main stacks, and that's going to be a big part of it. However, on FanDuel, I like to keep the lineups kind of close, but on FanDuel, I did sway a little bit. I like this lineup a little more. I wanted to be a little cheesy just to make sure that we were rolling in those wins and losses the wins for everybody. But we are accountable for our losses, like Spencer Radler a couple weeks ago. What a bum.
But, man, and I admit my mistakes too. Last night, I did hit 5 and 6 in NBA, but the one play I had was off. And Joker, I mean, he had 59.5 points. Oh man, like that's when you're talking about a bad game for the Joker when he scores 60 DK points. I gave 3 plays that you could fill in. All did this guy Johnson. He's great on Atlanta. The low end guys, and I missed on one. And hey, I admit it. We can't be right all the time. Hey, we always say if we were right all the time, we probably wouldn't be giving you advice. We'd be sitting on a beach somewhere.
That's right. Yeah, and that's.
We want to be right. It's almost impossible. So when we hit 4 or 6, we hit 5 or 6. We get you good plays. Take it. Take what we're doing, and this is what we're here. We're here to teach you. But why don't we get into some NFL?
All right, let's get to it. Let's get to the Ultra Contrarian show. Ooh, yeah, bro. We started off with the quarterbacks. I don't care what y'all say. I know it's a big game, and I'm going all out. I got some cheap options, but I love my number one option. Josh Allen, 7,300 on DraftKings, 8,900 on FanDuel. There's ways to work him in. I love him this week. This is a huge game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Right here, this game is going to be one of those games that could determine home field advantage in the AFC, like everybody has been talking about, like everybody knows. But this is when Josh Allen loves to shine. This is when Patrick Mahomes loves to shine. So you can pick either one of these quarterbacks in this game. But for me, I know that the Bills have been a little shoddy on defense, and the way the Chiefs spread it around, there might be some rushing touchdowns. So therefore, I like the action on Allen's side, and I can get a lot cheaper from that. I'll throw in one more quarterback and kick it over to you. The one quarterback I do love this week that's cheap is going to be Aaron Rodgers. I love him at 52,800 on DraftKings. He allows me to pair him with DK Metcalf, of course. We'll get to him in a bit. But Steve, what do you think about the plays? And who are you looking at this week from your angle?
Well, that game's a huge game. The KC Buffalo, super high under. Chris Kennedy, Mahomes 1, Allen 2 in his rankings. You know what I'm saying? And get over look at our rankings. We got more than guys. We got 2 guys in the top 20 this year. But I'm just looking at Chris's right now personally. He's got Mahomes 1, Allen 2. I love those plays. If you want to pay up. You know me. In GPPs, and I like Rodgers too. Like Rodgers is a really good play at that price, even though that's a good play. But the thing about Rodgers, for GPPs, he doesn't have that ceiling that I'm looking at this year. It doesn't seem like it. I mean, he's averaging 17.5, but 25, 12, 12, 12, 17, 24, 16. For GPPs, I'm not looking now. Mahomes and those guys do have those ceilings, but Mahomes, you don't know. So, but I love those high-end picks. And again, but who I'm looking at for me personally. What's that? Who's that
guy? Who you looking at, my brother?
That guy is Daniel Jones on the Colts. Okay, he's averaging 21.1 DK points. He's going up against the other side. Pittsburgh does not have a very good pass defense that I'm aware of. And look at his numbers. He's averaging 21.1, but he's got 29, 25, 15, 12, 16, 23, 22, 23. So I can save that money, instead of playing Mahomes, Allen, Mahomes, any of those guys. I like to pay at 65. I like Stafford too. But I don't know about, I like Stafford. But, I'm looking at Daniel Jones. And then, who else? Jackson Dart, baby. 52 DK. 5,200. Okay. So, he's number 9 in Chris Kennedy's ranking. 5,200. And I like some of the receivers I'm going to pair him with. So I like Dart. 52 is a great price there. And then if you want to pay up into the 6,200, you can go with Jones. That's what I'm looking at.
Oh man, dude. I'm like, while you're sitting there at this thing, I'm looking at the numbers and then I'm like, oh look, UFC. Bang. Hit it. So we you got it. Dude, I love all those plays. Yes, I have.
Go ahead.
What's that?
Go ahead. What were you saying?
I was gonna say, I said I looked at Daniel Jones. I just know that eventually, I feel that eventually the Steelers are gonna get this thing right, and they're gonna shut a team down. Is it this week? I don't know. But the thing is I kind of want to. I'm trying to stay away from that game, but I do love that game. So I love Jones in that game, of course, and I love Pittman in that game. And he's one of the receivers that I was able to work into a couple lineups. I keep coming around that price level, and I know a lot of people are jumping down to downs, but I love Pittman because Pittman's been getting the work done recently, and for me, that's what I need.
We're gonna talk about him eventually here, for sure. I just don't think GPPs. Yes, those guys have that ceilings, but I'd rather save 1,000 or 2,000 even. Again, Jackson Dart at the number 9. Drake May's number 4, but I'm not loving May this week. I don't know why. I'm not loving May.
I agree with that game. I don't like that game because Atlanta's just been all over the place, and every time they get punked, they run it back solid next week. But this is in Foxborough, man, and I just love, and there's two hard-nosed defense kind of going. Even though Atlanta kind of got torched up a little bit, they're better than that at times. They just they fall off the wagon. They literally just fall off the wagon. They like ride Bijan Robinson until they get drunk, and then they just completely go kaput. And then they get back up and they try to have this game. So they know that they have to get Bijan Robinson involved, because that was the thing is when their last game, when that started running away, they just stopped using Robinson, and that's what led to where they were at. So, and they just, that to me, we don't want to get Bijan again, but at the same time, I don't trust that environment, so I'm practically staying away from that game because I feel that I can find better value in other places.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I like Stafford too, but they're favored by 14. So, do they get up and run the ball? So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, well, let's move along to running back since we're talking about him. I'm wearing the shirt of the running back I'm going to be talking about. It's Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams at 6,800 on DraftKings, 8,000 on FanDuel. The Rams are coming off a bye week. They literally have the Saints coming to LA. The Saints are in complete shambles. Spencer Rattler he fell off the roof, the buff. He done fell off the horse, right? And the Rams defense is going to feast on Shuck. It's not even going to be this game. Like, now, I will say this before anybody gets a little crazy. The Saints can sack Matt Stafford. They can make this game very hard. So that Saints defense, I am playing them in a couple spots because I feel that the Saints can work in one of those slow-moving Ram games, and where the Rams kind of disconnect. Puka's going to get his, boom. Then Kyron's going to get his, but you could get one of those games where you get the Rams winning late in the game. Kyron gets down to the 1 or 2, and they're either kneeling on the ball or they're giving it to Blake Corum or they're throwing it to the 4th-string tight end or Davis Allen. So this is where one of those games might just get a little weird because of when Martz knows his team has a significant advantage, he exploits it, and then he pushes it down. So Kyron can go off, or Kyron could implode for 68 yards and 1 touchdown. But that's what on FanDuel, the 8,000, that makes it a little harder to pay for, as opposed to on DraftKings, where it'll be 6,800. People may be on him, but you could still get him anywhere from 15 to 20%. Of course, other running backs, we'll talk about the other running backs. Who do you like? What do you feel like?
Well, I do like Williams as well, but again, what happens in that game? Rams are fair up by 14. What if they're up by 20 something and they start pulling starters? So that makes me a little nervous. That's why I like Stafford, but he hits Nakua on a couple long ones. Then they run with it. So I'm not quite sure. I do like him though. Don't get me wrong. I love him. He's your boy too. But yeah, I'm just saying that the fact that they're favored by so much could very well play. Like you said, Nakua scores, boom, boom, and then they just feed Williams, which is one reason I'm not sold on Stafford. But it could be they could blow them out 45-7, and everyone could feast.
And you're right about that. You are correct about that, man. Because sometimes McVay does get it. It gets out of hand real fast. Defense gets a touchdown. You could be looking at a 30-point, deficit at that point. But I want to say that the Saints might have a shot. I just don't think they can. This is not the game you run, Shuck in there right now. You don't run him in there right now. This is a team that is designed to destroy the quarterback. And that's why the Rams defense is going to be it's one of the most picked up defenses this week, because it's literally going to be, the Rams are going to dominate 100%.
Right.
All sorts of games.
Right, which is another thing about scares me. What if what if they get a defensive touchdown? What if they, so for GPPs, it makes me nervous to do that. But I do like him. He's 11 in Chris Kennedy's rankings. He's really good. I know you love him. He's your boy. I like him too. But in GPPs, I'm just nervous. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll throw in there, there are ways to work in Jonathan Taylor. I still like Jonathan Taylor against Pittsburgh, but at that price point, I know that a lot of people are going already down to McCaffrey at 8,800. I do like Gibbs against Minnesota. I think that this is a big game for Minnesota, and Goff always plays great at home. So you're going to look at Detroit come out and try to punk the Vikings really fast. And I think that, when you have an $8,000 tag on Jahmyr Gibbs and he's coming off a 30-plus point game, it's almost easy sauce. But for me, I love Williams. The macho pick is Vidal. People are going down to Mongaguy. Hold on. Monagai. They're going down to him. He is very super cheap. They're also running to, some people are trying to be smarts and go with the Devin Singletary, but everybody's going Tyrone Tracy. He does have a place for that in his game to pair with Jackson Dart. But for me, if you're going to do that, just go get Mongs, right? Or just go up to my guy, Chase Brown, in the same game, because Chase Brown, no matter who's the quarterback, can still produce at least 15 points. He's 5,900 on DraftKings. And if for some reason Flacco does, I assume Flacco's going to play at this point. If he plays, he is going to produce. He will open it up. They will be scared about Chase, that is Jamar Chase and Higgins. And it's going to open up everything underneath, just like last week.
Flacco's planning to start. Exactly. And you can get Taylor in your lineups if you want. But I kind of agree with you on the McCaffrey thing, which might lead to some of my plays here.
Yeah. Hey, that's why we put it together. And again, we're going to give out those lineups at the end. We will also give out a DFS Hero simulated lineup, because DFS Hero does a lot of work. They were just on the show today with Dr. Roto, live on Sirius XM. That's 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Saturday. So you always want to check out Doc there as well, too. Also, DFS Hero is in there. Yeah. 20% off if you use the code word Doc at DFS Hero to get some of their great tools. So we will give you that. They literally just redesigned, from at least from my app's point, they just redesigned their website to where it looks a little different. So it looks more crisper, cleaner. So when you're seeing moves like that, you definitely want to get all in. And that's what I'm saying. This is the partnerships that we do at Dr. Roto.
That's right. And I'm going to start mentioning them in my articles as well for NBA, because I'm getting in there. I'm going to start using their optimizers, and we're going to see, hey, I may not always agree, but sometimes I may. I'll let you know. And that's the thing, that's why we do these things. We give you opinions. You know what they say about opinions, So
everybody's got one.
That's right.
Let's move it.
Exactly. And so I'm going to start mentioning them in my articles. I may agree quite a bit, because DFS Hero is good. I may disagree, but I will let you know, and then you can decide. I have a feeling I'll agree quite a bit. But exactly, you can use that code. You can get in there, and I'm going to start mentioning them, players they like and I like together. So yeah.
This is what we do. Like I said, this is all the tools you get and all the information that you get from Dr. Roto, just from listening to Dr. Roto on Sirius XM, to listening, to coming into our Discord, to doing everything together. That is everything you get. Plus, all the podcasts are free. You're getting your free information, and then you get in there and you get to ask the questions. So
that's right.
Let's get to those wide receivers, because there is so many.
Real quick. I know we talk too much. Like you said, McCaffrey, I'm going to pay up for him. I'm going to pay up. He didn't have a great week last week going against Houston, only 8 attempts, 25 yards. Yep. But if you look at the numbers before that, they're insane. He's averaging 25 DraftKings points a game, and that's with a 9.8. 42, 24, 27, 26, 24, 22, 23, 140 attempts, 490 yards, 6 touchdowns. I'm loving him at that high end. And you mentioned another guy, Chase Brown. I love it. He's only 5,900 on DK. McCaffrey, Brown, you can get him both in your lineup. Again, if you want to pay up the extra for Taylor, you can. But like in that lineup, if you're running Dart, for example, you run back McCaffrey up at 8,800. I like, and if you haven't listened to me before, I like paying up for running backs, especially if they're dominant running backs, and then you can pay 88 for McCaffrey, 59 for Brown going against Chicago. Brown, he's starting to get it going, man. Now, again, what happens with Chase and those guys, but Chicago's not a very good run defense. He had 25.5 DK points last week, 12 attempts, 70 yards, 3 receptions, 3 targets, 32 yards with the touchdown. So I definitely like Chase Brown. And then, just real quick, and Doc's talked about him. You've mentioned him, and we're going to keep talking about him, at least for now. Vidal, dude, he's playing Tennessee. His numbers last week, 22.7, 23 attempts, 117 yards, a touchdown, 1 reception on 2 targets, 10 yards. He's coming on 25.8 in week 6. He only is 7.5 and 7, and then 22. But he's really good, and he's only 6,300 on DK.
Yep.
So he's in.
Yep.
And then we mentioned Warren. I think you mentioned Warren on Pittsburgh. Kind of a tough matchup, but the price is right. The price is right. This is right. And then McCaffrey, number 1 in Chris Kennedy's PPR rankings. You got Jalen Warren for Pittsburgh, number 7. You got Vidal, number 10. You got Boyer Williams. So there's a lot of these guys, and you got Chase Brown. Like Chase Brown at that price in a PPR. Now remember, people, I play a lot of DK. I do a little. I just like DraftKings better personally. But anyway, Vidal's number 10. Your boy Williams 11. And Chase Brown's 15. So all these guys we're talking about are in the top 15 in Chris Kennedy's PPR rankings. So,
that's right.
Let's get
that's and look. So everybody, this is the thing. Everybody is going to talk about a lot of the same people, but that's what we try to do on the Ultra Contrarian, is to move. While people are going over to Monangai, we're going to stay stern with Vidal. We're going to stay stern with Chase Brown and Kyron Williams, so that way, that for at least for the cash games, that allows me to get to other players. We will talk about that when we give away the Ultra Contrarian lineups at the end, after we get through all the Steves and everything like that. So you have to stay tuned, people. This is not a one-trick pony show. You get a lot of information, a lot of game theory, a lot of numbers, and a lot of shit talking. Yeah. Woo!
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Go ahead. Let's continue.
Let's get it. All right. Yeah, because we want to make sure we get these in.
And if you listened last week, I thought Heat was going to beat me in our IDP league, and I came back and beat him. Sorry, Heat.
Yeah. Hey, I still held on, man. But hey, it's a hard league. There's a lot of good people in that league, and a lot of teams are right around 500. And it's a 2-point system under the sleeper rule, so we are good. But man,
except for me, who's like 10-2 or something.
Hey, whatever it is. Whatever it is.
My first time in an IDP league, so listen to Heat if you're in an IDP league.
Yeah, that's what we do. All right, let's get to the wide receivers. We are looking at Khalil Shakir. I am pairing him with Josh Allen. He's going to be roaming the middle of that field. He is literally the blanket for Allen right now. And I know that a lot of people are going to be going with Kincaid. We will talk about him in a little bit. But Shakir at 5,300 on DraftKings, 6,100 on FanDuel. I want to play that. I know that people are already looking forward to playing maybe Keon Coleman as well too. But here's the thing, is with all the other receivers out, not being able to suit up Gabe Davis for this, and Palmer being out as well too, that is the key. So that's going to funnel everything into Shakir in the middle of the field, whereas Kincaid usually catches those little outs by the sidelines, so that's going to open him up too. So I will say there is a chance for Kincaid wheel route, tight end wheel route touchdown that he's going to pull off. So when it happens, make sure you guys know who you heard that from. However, as well too, Shakir is going to be working the sidelines like a madman. Also, for receivers, I do love Puka Nacua. I'm not scared. I think that he's going to definitely get his work in. I have been hovering around Brian Thomas Jr. Everybody isn't going to play Brian Thomas Jr., but this Vegas game with Bowers back, Bowers is going to make that game flow a lot faster, and that is Geno Smith's cape. That's his little blanket. That's his Linus blue blanket. So when you put all that together, you add in Michael Pittman Jr., and then if you want to get crazy, everybody's been doing this. Calvin Austin sitting there. People are wondering which one, but now that we have seen Roman Wilson produce, score a touchdown, and Rodgers and Wilson haven't had a full connection yet. When that game happens, you want to be on him. He's 3,300. I love finding those cheap receivers that we can work into places. Steve, take it over from there. Who are you looking at?
Yeah, and Hunter is now in the IR, unfortunately. He was starting to play a little bit better for Jacksonville. So I like that Thomas play quite a bit.
Because everybody's going for Parker Washington. They're all going for Parker Washington because they want the salary relief.
Yeah, he's good, but exactly. We are, man. We think alike. You mentioned Pittman, man. He's 5,900 on DK. Last 2 weeks, 20.8 and 23.5 DK points. Pittsburgh, again, once we mentioned they're not very good against the pass. Again, we're not sure how this game. Maybe it's a homer pick, but Pittman. I mean, how good is Michael Pittman? And at 5,900, 5,900. I mean, if you look at Chris Kennedy's rankings, I want to call him CK because I got a buddy CK. Let's see. Pittman's 15. Which is higher. By the way, Brian Thomas 17. But I really, at that price for 5,900. For 20-some points on DK, I mean I'm not sure why he's that low, to be honest with you. I love Drake London again. I just love this guy. He's really freaking good. He played San Francisco last week. Didn't only 4 receptions, but 10 targets. The week before, 16 targets. I think we talked about him. He had 34.8 DK points going up in New England. I like him. But another guy I really like, especially if you're playing the dart lineup, is Wan'Dale Robinson at only 5,100 on DK. I mean, he's been playing well, and if you're playing, gear him up. Now he's a little bit lower. He's number 19 on the rankings, but you get that savings in. So I like Pittman. I like Robinson. I like your guy Thomas. Drake London. You can play Odunze again. He's not that expensive. And if you're playing Brown or you're playing Flacco or you're playing any of the, let's say you're playing Brown, run it back, with Odunze, something like that. You could pay up for some of these guys. Of course, Jamar Chase, Nacua, St. Brown. Rice has come back really strong. So if you're targeting that game, which is a really high, you could play Rice. But I like London. I like Pittman. I like Robinson. And then if you're playing like in that Daniel Jones lineup, I threw Diggs in there. I'm still not. Diggs goes back and forth with me again, and Atlanta's got a pretty good defense. But I like. In that one Jones lineup, I do like Rice against Bubba. He's come back really strong. Now he's going to be, I'm sure, but 23 and 25 points. He's averaging 24.4 his last 2 games back. I know Mahomes likes to spread it around. He's definitely the number 1 in KC. So I really like Rashee Rice too as well.
He is. Everybody's going to be running to Hunt in that game as well too. And I can see why I think you could get I think you can get a little cute with Smith. I think Brashard Smith definitely has a role in this game. They're going to need him because they don't have Pacheco. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you this right now. Hunt has been getting banged up. He had a lot of rushes the other week or just last week, and he had scored, right? So he's taking those extra hits. He was taking the goal line hits. He had to take on the extras role. He had to be the Pacheco. Now he's a little banged up. And here we're going into a big game that we need a fast, fresh running back that can catch passes out of the backfield. I would not be surprised if for some reason you see Smith in the backfield a little more than Hunt at times, especially if he starts getting hit a little more, banged up, and then starts, gets removed from the game. I'm thinking there's a pathway. There's a pathway, but I'm not that crazy, and I don't need to go play with Smith. Maybe in a showdown slate, there will be a showdown slate. This would be a fun game 4 showdown slate. So that's definitely a big thing, man. I like all those plays. I definitely want to keep this thing rolling as well, too, because when we get to the lineups, there's going to be some receivers that we're going to look at. And like I said, we're looking at Parker Washington. People are looking at Josh Downs. People are looking at some of these players. But when you brought up Rice, there's a reason you brought up Rice, because he is the one player I trust in that game on Kansas City, and he did make the ultra contrarian lineups. So that being said, that's what I'm looking at, and that's why I think that him, Kelsey are really big keys for this game. Because if this becomes a shootout, one of those 28-38 games, 35-38 games, I don't think there's going to be enough time to focus on the running. There's only going to be gunning. And that means that the passing game is going to be boosted. So you want to be part of that, and you want to make sure that you have the right angle. What's that?
Yeah, you can play Worthy too. You can play Xavier Worthy too if you wanted, So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move along to tight end, because we need to save money for all these players. And I don't really care. He's back. Bryce Young is back. That means Jatavian Sanders is going to be in play for me this week. With just Jatavian Sanders, what he is doing right now is sneaky. And he's at 2,800 on DraftKings and 4,800 on FanDuel. Now, on FanDuel, Colston Loveland is 4,800 as well, too. So there's your sway. You have Colston Loveland and you have Jatavian Sanders, both at that same price. Now, Colston Loveland is 3,300 on DraftKings. So if you're able to work it up to that point, that is definitely a good play. Also, Noah Fant is another sway that I've been looking at, because a lot of people will be looking at Kyle Pitts. They will also be looking at Dalton Kincaid, because Kincaid will have a role in this game. But I just feel you're safer for a cash game lineup with Kyle Pitts getting all that work as well, too. I do like Bowers. My number one tight end this week, for me, in my opinion, was Tyler Warren. I can't pass it up. But at 5,500, because the Steelers linebackers cannot cover. So that right there. And Kyle Duggar is a great addition, but for me, he's always been a great safety, but he's not going to be able to get everybody's back. He's going to be over here while the linebackers are letting up Tyler Warren over there. So he's not going to be able to be in the same place. People need to think about that things too. It's not just about the play. I know people think about, oh, look at the Steelers and getting torched and stuff like that. The Steelers still have some good corners, and they still want to hit. But we need that center of the field sucks. And Patrick Queen has not been that dominant Patrick Queen. They've been running plays away from him, other teams that is, and they're making him isolated. So when he's isolated and you're exposing the back end of an already heavy pass rush, there's nobody there to back it up. And that's what led to Deshaun Elliott being able to get so many tackles. But now he's gone. That's Kyle Duggar's thing, and that's not gonna work out well for them. And that's why Tyler Warren's gonna be a huge play. And that's again comes back to Michael Pittman, because if Ramsey's probably gonna be on Pittman. That's probably the best setup, but most of the time they do like to go slide. If Slay is on Pittman at any point, they're going to go to Pittman when Slay is on him. They don't respect Slay. Not a lot of people are going to respect Slay after all the tackles he missed last week and has been missing over the last couple of weeks. He's a great player, not the best tackler, and the Colts have some Mahasas running down. That's my play for the Tyler Warren, but I'm saying I got to keep it cheap. I got to go Jatavian Sanders because I need that 2,800, or I'm going to be going up to, like I said, my guy Colston Lovin. Who are you looking at?
Yeah, I love Warren. This is actually 1 week I would pay the what is he, 55, I think, on he's 55 on DK. This is a week I would pay for him. I mean, we were talking about tight ends, but he's averaging 13.8, 4 touchdowns, 5 targets, 9 targets, 5. He's getting getting the text. So this is and he's one of the highest ones. And I always talk about paying down in GPPs. I also have a lineup where you can tight end lineups again. That's how you can win GPPs. I do like Warren quite a bit this week. He's really high flex and tight end rankings. So I love him. Some of the cheaper guys I like. How about Theo Johnson for the you play Dart. You could pair him up. He's having some really good games right now. He is. And again, we're talking
too. I just want to throw that
exactly.
in.
4.74, 7.5. The last, and again, now he may not have, and actually he does have that ceiling for GPPs. He had 21.3 in week 5, 15.6 a couple weeks ago, and then when we've talked about it, unless you are, the Kraft, who's getting 36, 18, 12, or Warren, or the other guy this week, Gadsden. He's expensive, but he's a good play, 53. So this is a week I would consider paying up. But I like Johnson on the Giants. If you're playing Dart, you know what? Once again, maybe sure all the Johnsons. Hold on. Another Johnson I like, the same Johnson we've been talking about, Jawan Johnson. I mean, he's averaging 9.7. His targets 8 and 7 the past 2 weeks, 10.3, 12.9. He's gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of do they have a bye? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5 of 8 weeks, double digits for a tight end. That's amazing. Hasn't scored that many touchdowns. So I like him too. Again, at the lower end. You can play Casey, even though my feelings. I like Pitts for sure. Kincaid, Hunter. But Gadsden's a guy if you wanted to play up for, you could. But that's who I'm liking.
Yeah, I agree with all of it, man. You hit a lot of those targets right there, and I think you could really keep it. I do like your Johnson sway too. You get to save that. So practically, there was a lineup that came in. I couldn't get to Colston at 3,300. So guess who was there? Johnston. So Johnson being there was a really big play for me. So I was like, all right, cool. Let me play with that. But at that point, I was like, all right, what's he going to get? He's going to get more targets than Sanders and more work. So for me, I was like, all right, well, let me see what I can get in and kind of sway to. So that kind of like puts me in the defense because the site's got a little keener with the defenses this week. So you can't just go down because if you're going to go down, you're playing the Saints defense and you're hoping that what I was talking about earlier, that the Rams might just slow this down. Puka gets a touchdown, Williams gets a touchdown, or Puka and Adams get a touchdown, then Davis Allen gets a touchdown, and Williams goes 19 for 80 with 2 catches for 15 yards, and then you're kind of left without that touchdown that you needed, but you only paid $6,800 for him, so you're almost getting your value right there. But on the defensive side, to save money, I'm looking at the Raiders. Jacksonville, they're like the Jekyll and Hyde. Jacksonville good could show up or Jacksonville bad could show up. And when you're traveling on the road, you did have that off week, and the Raiders constantly play these really close games. Now, they just got punked by the Chiefs, but that's the Chiefs. That's not the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, of course, the Raiders were able to punk Tennessee. Indianapolis smashed them.
Right.
They have been getting smashed. But when they played New England at the beginning of the season, and then they played the Chargers, that's what I think that this game could do. Jacksonville's going to come in, slow it down, try to throw deep to Thomas. The other guys that don't normally get the work, like Parker Washington, are going to do small little screw-ups. They can't rely on Hunter Long at tight end, and they don't commit to Travis Etienne consistently enough. So that, to me, and Tootin's going to get to play. They're not going to be able to get warmed up. And I think that that's what makes the Raiders defense intriguing. Now, if San Francisco imploded because of the pass rush in New York for the Giants, I do like the 2,400 sway. And then the Saints are 2,100. Those are the main defenses I'm looking at, other than, of course, the Rams. That's my number one. And then outside of that, I'm kind of just like, I don't like anybody else. Who do you got?
Well, Rams, Chargers, Lions. You could play them all, play any of those three. You know, they're on the more expensive side. But if you know, I'm liking the Texans. I like the Texans at 2,900. Going to Denver. They have 8 interceptions, 3 defensive fumble recovers, 16 sacks, averaging 9.4 DK points. It's at home in Houston. It's not in Denver where people get all weird with the air and blah blah blah. You know.
Yep.
So I like the Texans. I think you could probably. But that's, you know, this is not a week that I'm going all the way down. I'm not going to play the Panthers. I doubt I'm going to play the Saints. I don't think I'm going to play the Vikings versus Detroit. You know, Tennessee. You know, so I don't think I'm going.
It's not good.
I don't play the Giants versus San Francisco. Vegas. Yeah, so we've talked about how we like to pay down. I don't think I'm going all the way down this week. You know, for that. Maybe you could play Atlanta, Bengals. You know, if the Steelers, you never know. No one's going to want to play the Steelers going up against the Colts, right? You could play the Steelers and hope for, you know, they have 22 sacks this year. 22 sacks, 5 interceptions, 5 defense. They're averaging 5.7. That'll get you a really low owned. Now they had -4 points last week and won, but they also have had 3 weeks where they had 10, you know, and they have no defensive touchdowns. And remember, we talked about, you know, when you're playing in these things. So I could play the Steelers. Hey, you want to take your chance on the Bills? It's going to be a high scoring game, but you know, they have 22 sacks, you know, it's not like, you know, and I know Mahomes is great. I admit it, you know, even though I hate him, but I don't hate him. I respect his game. I just, as a Raven fan, but you know, the Bills had 17 points last week. Now that was versus Carolina, but they have 22 sacks, 3 interceptions. Mahomes, you know, he can move, but you never know. And they're only 2,800. I really like Texans. And then, like Texans. You said, if you want to pay up, Rams 39, Chargers 38, Lions 37, Patriots maybe. You could go the other way, but I'm liking the Texans personally. Actually, I did pay up for the Lions. I did pay up for the Lions. You know, they're going against Minnesota, who. I don't know, you know, and
what's going to happen?
They have 23 sacks, 7 interceptions, 4 defensive. They're averaging 8.4. We know they're a great defense, so you could, if you want to pay 3,700. Like this is one of those weeks where we talk about. You could pay up for tight end. You could pay up for defense because you have some of those lower-owned running backs in the top 10. You have some lower price receivers. Yeah. So this is where if you want to pay up, I would be okay with that. Lions D. Yeah. I mean, look, they had week 1 and 2 in week 6, but besides that, 8, 19, 10, and 12. Those are some big numbers for defense. So, but
I agree with that. And I agree 100% with the Texans. They've scored 5 points twice this season. 5 points against San Francisco, 5 points against Jacksonville, which is a thing. But even against the Rams, they had 6 points. They score points. They're off. People might not be playing them, and that gives you your edge right there. So, and here's another thing. What's that? I was going to say, here's another thing. Denver.
Rams are 1, Lions are 3, Denver's 5, 6. You know, Texans 11s. But go ahead. What were you saying?
No, that's practically it. That's practically it. It's just the Texans are that team that could be only 10% owned, and that you could play them on, and that game slows right down then you're good. If that's one of those 19-16 games, you win. You win, get a couple sacks, and then you go from there. That's what I'm looking at, and that's what I think that, that's where, if you're going to pay around, that's near that 2,800, 2,900. That's about as high as I'll go, other than going up for the Rams, because I'm a Rams fan. I mean, I'm just wearing the shirt because, it's great. So, all right. That sounds good. We got the defenses covered. We got the tight ends. We got all keys covered to the lineups. So
we do. And remember, just FYI, people had a rough day, a couple rough days, So I'm going to give you my best chance here, but check Discord in case it changes. Last week it changed, and I got in there and told people, hey, don't play this guy, play this guy, and it worked out. So you never know. We're doing this Saturday night. I do research all the way up until all the time, So what I give, you never know. I could change my mind, because you kind of convinced me last week about, or I don't remember which week it was, about going with when Adunze, when Hubbard was coming back, and then I changed it to, I believe I changed it to Williams on the Cowboys, and he went off. So just keep in mind, crazy week, especially with NBA, focusing on that as well. So if something changes, I will definitely let you know.
yeah, definitely. That's why you got to keep your eyes on the Subs Only Discord at Dr. Roto. And
I'm going to give everybody an NBA code as well. I got one. I'll make sure it still works with Doc.
All right, let's get to it. Let's get to the Fuego's Core 4. Go ahead, buddy. Who's your 4 this week?
It's so tough. And again, we've talked about it. We got buys, we got injuries, we got fill-ins. So it's a tough one. But I think you go McCaffrey against the Giants. I think you got to go McCaffrey. Pay the 8,800. He's going to do well. We've been playing the Giants defense because they've been so low. I don't think that's going to happen. I know it's in New York. It doesn't matter. McCaffrey is, he's not even rushing, getting that many yards rushing. But we know how his targets. So like last week, he now that was his best week. But before that, 24, 17, blah 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 blah. And his targets though are just crazy. 6, 8, 8, 6, 11, 15, 7, 10. I mean, what kind of 15 targets for a running back? That's insane.
He gets more than receivers. Yeah, you got to get him in there.
And what is it, last year, 2 years ago? Oh, he's hurt. Is he going to come back? Well, he's back, and he is playing great. So I'm getting McCaffrey in my core 4. Vidal. Get Kimani, Vidal, and Doc likes him. He likes him. I think our whole website likes him. The whole industry likes him. Hey, but that's okay. Sometimes you do have to play the chalk. So
gotta eat it. Gotta eat the chalk.
Eat it at 6,300. Get him in your lineups. He's probably gonna. He's gonna have a really good game against Tennessee. And then if they get up early, they're just going to feed him the ball. 23 attempts last week, 18 weeks before. And they lost 2 weeks ago, so they only had 9 attempts. So if they get up, I'm looking for that 18, 20, 25 attempts maybe. So I'm getting him in my core.
All day. I'll pay 6,300 for that all day. All right. Who's your next guy?
Oh, my next guy here. All right.
Hold on here.
I think I gotta go. What's that? You're waiting. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. It kind of broke up there a little bit. It broke up a little bit. But you're back. You're back. You're fine. I'm throwing up a question someone's asking. Fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
But go on.
I'm going Daniel Jones. I'm going to put Daniel Jones in my lineup at that price at 6,200. I'll save the money from Mahomes and the Bills. He's going against Pittsburgh. Call it a homer pick. I don't know, but I think he's going to light them up. He has had no less than 12 DK points. He's 1, 2, 3, for 5 games over 20, averaging 21.1, 2,000 passing yards already, 13 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, throwing 86 rushing yards to boot. I'm putting Daniel Jones in there. I'm putting him in. And then, you know what I'm saying? Put him in your lineup. And then what am I going to do? You've been paying attention to the show? Who else am I going to put in there?
You're going to put in Michael Pittman. Yeah.
You could put them both, but I'm pairing them with Pittman. You know, Pittman, 15.7, 6 TDs, 446 yards. You know, so I'm going to put Jones in my lineup. You know, and I'm going to pair him with Pittman. And that's my core 4 right there: Jones, Pittman, McCaffrey, and what did I say? Vidal.
Yep.
Yeah.
You said Vidal.
Now, I would pair him with Robinson, you know, but that is, and so what we need, my Fuego pick. Oh boy,
your Fuego pick of the week. Let's go, brother. Ooh, yeah.
What's it gonna be? Maybe I should have gone McCaffrey. Maybe I should have gone. I don't know, but my Fuego pick of the week. What's it gonna be? I think I'm gonna go with Drake London. Let's do it. Drake London.
Oh.
Right? He's playing at 6,400.
Yep.
38 receptions, 469 yards. He only has 2 TDs. Again, those targets are insane. 10, 16, 10, 8, 4, 15. I think he gets it done this week. I'm going to get him in my lineups. You know, now pay attention. I could put McCaffrey there, but I like Drake London. He's going to be my Fuego pick. I got him in a couple lineups. You know, you could go Rice. I mean, honestly, I think Rice is going to have a great game versus Kansas City, which he's in one of my lineups. So, you know, I'm again, I don't know, but you know, you could go with Dunze again. But for now, the Fuego pick of the week, Drake London. Stay tuned. Pay attention in Discord in case it changes.
Yeah. So that brings up a couple questions, and then we'll get to your lineup. Then, of course, the DFS hero lineup. We want to get this thing going. So this guy wants Dunze or BTJ. Here's my opinion. You give your opinion real quick. I think Dunze is safe. I think he's definitely this is one of the games that I am looking at targeting. Like I already said, as you get to the macho pick or the ultra contrarian lineup, you will see that. So fantasy, if you're still in here, thank you for popping in. Ask those. Sorry we did miss those about 20 minutes ago, but we get into our little modes and stuff like that. And so that's my opinion of those two. And
I forgot to give my chat up again. I like him too. Yes, he's number 10 in Chris Kennedy's PPR rankings. I love him, and he's in my one of my lineups for sure. Actually, I'm looking right at him right now. One of my lineups.
That's the way we do it. That's it. It's just like you said, great minds to think. And then he also asked Brissett or Stroud. So I've got this feeling about Stroud and Nico Collins because Collins is finally back and Surtain is not there. Denver hasn't had to deal with last year's defensive MVP not being on the field often. Now you're getting a big alpha receiver, a quarterback there at home. I don't think Jahdae Barron is ready for what Nico Collins' speed is going to do, and I don't know if that's going to be a big thing. So for me, I'm going to say, look, Brissett's playing Dallas. That's your safe play. But if by time you need a big hit or you're losing, say, halfway and you get to that Houston game, then go ahead and just go with Stroud and hope that I'm right, that Nico Collins breaks free and gets a long touchdown, buffs those stats, get 20-22. But Stroud did lose a game by 5 points for me a couple weeks ago, and it sucked. So that's why I said sometimes you got to be safe.
Yeah. Oh, and that's just a reminder to people: try to have a short memory. Steve Bell is on our site. Make sure you get over, read his prop picks. He's doing well as well for NBA. He says I get tunnel vision. Well, you can't have tunnel vision, but you can at the same time. Because if you like a player and he's great, why? Like he says, oh, you got tunnel vision on Wemby. Yep. Well, Wemby's awesome. The Joker's awesome. I mean, how do you not play
have the heroes?
Trae Young will miss. Oh, I'm getting updates. Oh, Trae Young out at least 4 weeks for Atlanta. Keep playing Johnson. Start playing Dyson Daniels as well. But anyway, we're talking football.
No, yeah. That's crazy. But you got to get into that soon because I don't even know what's going on to that. So, what is your Fuego lineup of the week?
All right, I'm going to give out, and this is a mixture. And again, with NBA starting, I got a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're going to go with one of my lineups here, all right, it's Dart at quarterback, Brown at running back, pay up for McCaffrey, Drake London, Kidman, pair Dart with Robinson and the tight end on the Giants. Okay.
Johnson.
Hope that McCaffrey goes wild. Hope that Dart has to keep throwing. So McCaffrey keeps running. Dart keeps throwing. So Dart's going to throw Johnson. And then Vidal at running back. And then Texans D. Now that's zeroed out, but that's one of my lineups right there I really like. Yeah. And then the other one is the Daniel Jones one. Okay. You go Jones, you go Vidal, you go Warren coming up running it back versus Jones. You go Diggs. I like Diggs, but I'm going to have to think about Diggs. You go Adunze. You go pair Jones with Pittman. You go Johnson for New Orleans at tight end. Then you go Rice at flex. Throw Rice in at flex. And then go Texans defense again. So I like both of those lineups right now. A mixture of my picks. I might try to work on those two lineups I really like.
That's beautiful. I love both those lineups. I love it. You got your Colts on side. You got your Giants on the other side. So let's get to the DFS Hero simulated lineup. We got Dart, McCaffrey, Monangai. We got Chase, Zacchaeus, Puka Nacua, Johnson, Tracy, Falcons defense. That's a nice lineup.
I like it. Yeah, that's
nice. Good. I love that they got Chase and Nacua on that.
That is great. Yeah, and that's a really good lineup too. That's a great way to get those both in there. And then we've talked about this. I at least believe wide receivers. Now is that a GPP lineup? Is it? It's just the optimizer? Does it? Because I don't have much. I got to get in there.
High. Yeah, it's got a 152. Yeah. So that's because that's not bad.
And wide receivers. I don't know if we've talked about. They have some of the higher ceilings if you're not like one of these dominant running backs, because wide receivers, running backs don't usually break a 70-yard pass. I mean, a 70-yard run for the most part, unless you're some of these top guys. So the wide receivers, though, they can get two catches, go for 150 yards and a touchdown, and you're golden. So I love that lineup there with getting Chase and Nacua. He's got your boy. He's got Chase, and so that's a great. I like that lineup.
I love it. The only thing I would change off of it, I would take Zacchaeus out and I would throw in Roman Wilson. It's a tick for attack, but I trust Aaron Rodgers before I trust Caleb Williams, especially if you listen to the Hard Hits review on Tuesday. I tore Caleb Williams up, and I'm just done with the dude. So we're not going to be playing those games. But guess what? Now it's time for that part of the day. It's time for the Ultra Contrarian lineups.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's do it.
We got the macho pick with the Kamani Vidal. Oh, yeah. Made it a little exquisite with the Vidal. And yeah. But we're going to be running into the tough stuff. The Kareem always rises to the top. The macho man's about to unleash hell on this DFS slate. And when we get done with it, we're going to look at the competition. Oh, yeah, the little competition. We're in the fanny packs. Putting to tail it in and wave their white flag when they pull it out of the fanny pack, because the Ultra Contrarian lineup
is going to freaking slay this week. Let's get to it. Josh Allen. This is DK. Josh Allen, Kyron Williams, Kamani Vidal. We got Rashee Rice, DK Metcalf, Khalil Shakir, Jatavian Sanders. Bro, Chase Brown. I'm going Raiders defense. You can mess around with whatever you got at 2,500. Boom. FanDuel. I took a little sip, dig it? I took a little sip. Josh Allen, Kyron Williams. We got Vidal, Rice, Shakir, Pittman, Kincaid, Monagai, and Giants defense. I just had it. It's the trust. I'm hoping I'm going to get ran. Whatever, I'll take my 1 points, 2 points with the Giants defense. But if they take that game over and I can get some points like up on this, and this lineup booms, you heard it on the Ultra Contrarian Show. What's
and
up?
I don't know if it was me or I love them, and I don't know if it was me or StreamYard or whatever, but you might want to give that DK one out again. I didn't hear it all.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go to it. Josh Allen, Kyron Williams, Vidal, Rice, Metcalf, Shakir, Sanders, Trace Brown, Raiders defense. I'll run it back. FanDuel, Allen, Williams,
Okay,
Vidal.
that was a little better.
Yeah, you got it. All right. Got it. Just to make sure, because, sometimes we can't control everything. We just go live on here, and sometimes
It was still
out.
in it, so people check this to make sure.
Yeah. So you got that. Those are your numbers. This has been another great show, man. But I got the main event going on. I had a 5-leg parlay. I had a 5-leg parlay going into this last fight. I think that the favorite might have been losing. He was a focal point. I don't know if he lost, but it was a 6-leg parlay. Had 5 wins on it going into this match. The match is over. The next match is on. That is the UFC content that we're giving. I've already been hitting no parlays all day long. So you're going to want to get over to Dr. Roto right now. Use code word Trevor. Get 20% off and get into the UFC channel because we're going to watch some knockouts here real soon, and you want to be on the winning end. Steve, thank you so much for taking the time.
My late night NBA lineup.
Yeah, that too. That too, because I'm going to be putting some stuff up in there too. And I might even look at NHL. Heck, that's what we do. But let's go win some money, brother, man. Have a great one. Always. What's up?
I said, let's do it. And I know people love listening to us. We'll try and make it shorter next time, but we love to talk, don't we?
Yeah, we talk. But hey, you know what? We try to show the everything angles. We put the story out. We put the story. We build the story. We give you the lineups, and that's the story behind the lineups. That's all we got, people. We're just trying to make you our rich friend.
What I need to do is I listen when I go to bed, then I wake up, and then, you know what? You put all the information together.
That's how you do it. All right. Have a great day, everybody, and always remember to bring the pain. Ooh, yeah.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. Until the next visit, be well and take care.